And I'm sure I don't have to give Trump any credit. I'm sure he will take all the credit that he wants. But what we should also know is that what we are looking at is a 10-year rebound from the Wall Street crash of 2008. I do not believe that Trump's massive tax breaks for billionaires is the cause of the good economy. But when you talk about good economy, and follow me around here in Des Moines, talk to the workers who are making $9 an hour or $10 an hour. The truth is that half of the people in this country today, despite the good economy, are living paycheck to paycheck, and millions of people are working 2 or 3 jobs just to put food on the table.
So that was Bernie Sanders again, and we have the same folks around this table, the same array of genius here. Donnie, I want to ask you this. As we keep talking about this Democratic nomination fight, that's Bernie Sanders basically taking on the hardest challenge that any Democrat in the nomination fight and eventually whoever is going to be Trump's opponent has to deal with, which is that right now the economy is really good. And we had great jobs numbers on Friday. Donald Trump gets in his own way, causes trouble, talks about tariffs. The markets today were shaky and fluttery. But in the end, any Democrat who's going to try to first win the nomination and then take on Trump is going to have to figure out a way, how do you talk about the economy at a time when it's pretty good?
Here's the way you talk about it. You say there's the economy, which is an abstract thing, and then there's real life. Number one, there are 3 individual Americans, 3 humans, that have more wealth than 50% of the bottom half of this country. You look at Pennsylvania, you look at Michigan, Trump is down by 20 and 30 points. So much of the job growth is in, blue, very, very urban areas, and those coal jobs did not come back. So, and also healthcare is such a big part of the economy, you can't separate them. So when you say to voters, yeah, the Dow is great, rich people are great, tech jobs are great, you're still not getting the minimum wage you need. You're still going to have your healthcare taken away from you. It is still an unfair, rigged system. 3 people have more money than half the United States. Those cut through. So the economy, you make it an abstract thing and you turn it on its head. It's not so good for you, is it? And that's the way you do it.
It is Donna, let's just think about this a little bit. It's a real, to me, a real challenge. There's no doubt that you can give Barack Obama a lot of credit for the current economy. The president probably overclaims, but all presidents do. You have a good economy underneath you as president, you claim credit, and you deserve some amount of the credit. This is a challenge because, of course, there's a lot of features and factors in this economy that don't feel great to a lot of Americans. And yet, the president can stand up and say, we have the lowest unemployment rate since 1960, whatever, 1970, whatever. It's a challenge, right? How to confront that and come up with a winning argument. Donnie is pointing to the plutocrat issue. I think you are one of those 3 people with most of the wealth.
17.
Yeah. Okay, but, what do you do?
Well, I mean, I think Donnie is right that you really have to point to where people's personal economy is. Their wages for the last couple of decades basically flatline, paying more than ever out of their pockets for health care, unable to save for retirement, their children going to debt for their college education. And these are things that impact people's day-to-day lives, which is why I think it's really going to be important for Democrats to distinguish the overall economy from people's personal economy.
Take a look at this NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, though, here, talking about Donald Trump. You got his approval where his approval is at net -5. On the feeling scale, he's a net -10, but on the handling of the economy, he's on +10. So there's arguments to be made here, Karine, but you're not just fighting against data, and you're not just fighting against the president's branding and his braggadocio. You're fighting against what is, for a substantial number of Americans, a sense that the economy feels to them, not for everybody, but to some number of people, the economy does feel better, and that's what the polling shows.
Right, but I'll talk about a policy that is now into law, clearly, that was signed by Trump, which is the Trump tax cuts. And people really, just a month ago, April 15th, people learned that they were going to get hardly any money and pay a lot more. So I think there are issues like that that Democrats can lean into and talk about and really put it out there, because there are things over and over again that Donald Trump has done that does not help the people who helped elect him.
It's Donald Trump's economy. It's not your economy. In 2018 midterms, a 9-point popular deficit. Now, it's not a presidential election, but the economy was roaring then. So
I will say my favorite thing of late is the story in Politico, in which Joe Biden, as we said before, the frontrunner, has decided that he's going to get in the nickname game along with Donald Trump. There's so many nicknames. He says, quote, there's so many nicknames, I'm inclined to give this guy, Biden said, to laugh the room. You can just start with clown.
Got to do better than that.
You think? It's weak,
It needs
right?
a D. It needs a D.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is weak, and leave the nickname game
not,
to the president,
you know,
probably.
Yeah.
But even if you want to dive into nicknames, you could probably do better than that. But I will say, I mean, certainly the people around the president on the economy, they know this is their best argument.
Yeah.
But don't underestimate, and they're worried about this, don't underestimate the president's ability to mess that up, to
Right.
distract it, not just with starting a tariff fight with China, but just stepping on his message day after day, when this is, for any president who comes in as an incumbent with inherent advantages to re-election, especially one with a good economy, should be more or less unbeatable. That's not the case here with this president, so that could change further.
And that's because he plays into the base every time.
Yeah.
He talks about immigration, caravan, he does the red meat, and he doesn't want to stick on the economy.
And he could use this against Mueller. His response should be, hey, guys, you keep doing all your stuff. I'm making sure that we're at a lowered unemployment in 50 years.
Right.
But you keep doing it.
He can't ignore.
do it.
He can't ignore.
He is the master of indiscipline.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.